Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to SIRENNET Television. Whelen Engineering has manufactured the Whelen SlimLighter for a number of years. And it's a great seller, very popular product, fits in a variety of different areas. You will see on some of the installation videos that we've done with the variety of installers, including the gang over at Starker, hi Starker, that the product actually will fit in pretty much any area you choose to fit a light inside a vehicle. Now, it doesn't come with a shroud, obviously, but Chris, the intrepid screwdriver driver, is going to show you some interesting factors about the Whelen SlimLighter. This one happens to be in red and blue. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Stuart. You've seen it in installs, you've seen Stuart talk about it, but you haven't seen what's inside. The SlimLighter is pretty straightforward. It has a polycarbonate housing, 2 light heads. You can pick which colors you prefer for your application, so solid or split. And when I say split, I don't mean split head here, split head here. I mean, rather than the unit being all red, you could have a white, you could have a blue, you could have a blue, you could have a red. So that's what I mean by split. It's designed for interior application, and it's pretty well put together by Whelen Engineering. It's been around for many, many years, and with that, it's been a great product over those years. These side tabs here come out, left side, right side as well. You can see there's a threading in here, and that is for assembling the mounting bracket, which is a suction cup based kit. So if you're using it on side windows, rear windows, the suction cup kit works great. Otherwise, there's a bail bracket you can get also. Helps in your installations for going in the side windows, rear headliner, rear hatch, what have you. Has optic lenses over the front on the side as well. Those come out with a little bit of a wiggle here. So really, if you reach up, slide it away, it comes right out. Smooth side on the front, roughed side on the back, and the horizontal optics boost the diodes. So rather than just having the units in here, letting them fire away, not having quite as much intensity, well, the optics and the units inside here take the diode's small potency, give it a big blast of light to fill out the whole side of the light head. Inside here, you have a dished optic lens. And it's actually pretty darn reminiscent of the TIR6 light head, which is Whelen's exterior mount. And really, that's where this came from. The TIR6s came first, worked great, but folks were having a rough time taking them to interior, so Whelen Engineering, in their craftiness, said, well, let's take the diodes, let's take the optics, put them in a shroud so we can do interiors. And then that's where this unit came from. The optic portion here is removable. And if I had a TIR6 head next to me, you'd have a tough time telling which optic set was which. The TIR6 light heads follow this stepped pattern here. So rather than having a centered line or something linear in Whelen relations, the stepping allows for the diodes to get a bit more potency and also be more compact in their size. So you can see this side comes out as well. The diode assembly is on a bracket here. And the bracket is black finished aluminum, and it also acts as a heat sink for each side of the unit. Since it's a polycarbonate housing, the heat that's generated from the diodes has to go somewhere, so that's where this metal internal piece comes for. You can see the stepping of the diodes here. So you have a row on top, which is 3, a row on bottom, which is 3 as well. Same thing for this side. If you ever needed to remove the diode portion, and it's all epoxy sealed, soldered in as well, it has 4 small screws on the face here. So remove those, the electronic portion can then come free from the aluminum extrusion here. With that, you have a 2-wire harness going from each side of the fixture. Go ahead. So if I spin this around, you can get a better view of the actual electronics. So this is the internal flasher board for the SlimLighter. So if you've ever been curious as to what's in here and makes this tick, well, here it is. Both sides are soldered to the board. So with that, if you needed to do some work, change colors around, it's a little tough. So if you've ever thought, well, I have one of these, I have one of those, as far as colors, can I open them up? Can I change them around? Maybe a little bit tough to do for the fact that it's soldered onto the boards. Lead wires ID the colors. So in this case here, the blue stands for the blue side, the red for the red side. You can see the polycarbonate housing, and this frees up as well. Boop. Nice little centered Whelen sticker. Keeps the unit well spaced and the light heads together on the left side and the right side. Also helps protect the electronics that are tucked inside here by giving a little padding in the center section where the wiring harnesses go from one side to the other. So you can see, if you wanted, the whole unit can be taken apart. So you just have a polycarbonate housing here. On the back of the unit is an incorporated flash pattern change. And how that works is there's a little set button right here. And this is probably the best way to see this button if you've ever been curious exactly what is it affixed to and how does it work. So you can see it's set into the solder of the chipboard here. Every time you momentarily click that, when the unit's on to 12 volts, it'll advance the flash pattern. So with that, you've seen the insides, you've seen the housing, you've seen the optics. Well, time to put it back together. For reassembly, we'll go ahead and start with the blue side that also contains the board. It's a little bit of a process to put it back together since it's two pieces connected with a harness, but it's pretty straightforward to do. We'll take this, slide it in like so, making sure to tuck the harness behind the electronic assembly and the aluminum extrusion. You can see the harness will route above the two notches here. The exit harness will travel out of the side here. You can see that there's an incorporated set into the polycarbonate housing, so it's molded that way, so the harness has a specific point of exit. The red side here goes back into place. The end will tuck under the center here. And then drop back down to the end. We can now go ahead, take the Whelen pad and spacer, set this back in place, and it has an adhesive on the back, so give it a nice little squeeze and it'll reseat itself. From there, we'll take the two booster portions for the light, place them back over the diode assemblies like so. Followed by the second set of optic lenses. So we'll slide this in here first toward the Whelen, give it a little wiggle, drops in place. Same thing with this one here. And there you have it. So now with the optics back in place, we can go ahead, take the end tabs, lock those back in place as well. The tab itself will go in like so. So the screw points here will face toward the side or toward the back of the unit as far as the L shape of it goes. Have the camera zoom in here a little bit while I slide this back into place so you can get a good idea right where it's going as far as its channel. You can see it slides under the lip on this side. The optic portion where there's a hole here will go under and give it a firm push, and right in place it goes. So we'll go ahead, do the same thing with this side here. And there you have it. Mounting tabs locked back into place. SlimLighter reassembled. Now that it's back together, we'll go ahead, plug it in. That way you can take a look at how nice, clean, and potent the flashing of the SlimLighter is. Out of the package, it comes with a 12-volt cigarette plug-in. Incorporated on-off switch, so when it's on, has a red diode that glows here, as if you couldn't tell it was on because it is really nice and bright, but if you're using them in side windows, rear windows, you're gonna have a hard time seeing them when you're focused on driving, so the red diode here in volunteer or detective applications will let you know that your light's on, flashing away. And in addition to the 12-volt plug here being the on and off for the SlimLighter, it's also an incorporated fuse point. So the end here unscrews to reveal the inline fuse that's contained within it. So very well thought out there. So if you have a morning, an afternoon, an evening where you go to light up the unit, it doesn't seem to be working, go ahead, take the cap off, double check the fuse. Go ahead, take this, plug it into power here. There you go. Red, blue, flashing away, very nice, very brightly. If I go ahead and spin the unit over, you can see on the back of the polycarbonate housing here, there's this small inset white flash pattern adjustment button. So what I'll do here is take a nice little fine tip, just happen to have a pencil here, pen works, or a paper clip as well, or if you happen to have some really tiny little screwdriver bits, those would work just as well. So take the button, take the tip, and every time you give it a click, it'll adjust the flash pattern. So if you want something nice and slow, back and forth, that's available. If you'd want something together, offered as well. I'll just click through a couple more here. Back and forth, a little slower, and together a little more sporadic. Basically, any flash patterns you're looking for, back and forth, simultaneous, it's offered in Whelen's SlimLighter. Well, there you are, the insides of Whelen's famous SlimLighter. Hope you've enjoyed the inside view. Back to you, Stuart.
Well, thank you, Chris. It's always nice to see someone's insides. From all of us here at SIRENNET Television, thanks for watching.